I think if I have, because I have more passion in learning languages and studying, I feel like I would have more potential as an entrepreneur in that field. So that's really just the reason why I switched. But maybe in the future, I might go back to the neon paint idea.
That's great that you were thinking that way and thinking, hey, there's two opportunities here. Here's the one I'm more passionate about. That's where I want to put my chips. So that's a great way of thinking about it.
Thank you.
Oops. Hold on just a second, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. I think that we are live now. So, Bill Murray, welcome to the 6th and final workshop you're going to put on for this particular series. We are excited to get started. I think before we do that, why don't you give us your last introduction of who you are, Bill, and then we'll go around the room real quick, let everyone say who they are and where they are, and then we can get started on your very interesting and important topic today.
Well, I am an idea validation enthusiast. I like working with people to help them take their ideas and find out if they're good ones or not, and help them select which ones they work on and which ones they don't. Because working on ideas that don't get traction isn't very fun. So I like to do fun stuff, and fun stuff is following ideas that help people and drive value and so that's what I like to do. So I come to things like this, and in my daytime, I work at a big insurance company to help them do innovation a little bit better. So I try to get my hands in anything that where we're learning.
And where are you, Bill?
I'm in Wisconsin, in the upper Midwest, United States.
Great. Jake, do you want to introduce yourself real quick? You've been on almost all of these workshops.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I'm Jake Mendelson, and unfortunately, I'm the oldest person here, but I'm still learning stuff, and I think Bill has taught me a lot. Thank you very much, Bill. It's great. And I've been involved in invention education and inventing for many, many years, and that's where the gray hair came from. I just want to warn you people that this will happen to you, but I'm looking forward to learning more from Bill.
Where are you located?
Oh, I'm
And where will
sorry.
you be located soon?
I am in the United States, in Connecticut, just south of Sunny, and all her bad weather comes to me. Thank you, Sunny.
Well, Sunny, since he's segued there, let's go ahead and have you introduce yourself real quick.
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Sunny. I'm from Toronto. I'm right above Jake, and weather's not looking too good right now. I am in my last year of high school, so I haven't been attending recently because I've been really swamped with my schoolwork and my university applications. But outside of school, I created the Pink Stairs, which is a nonprofit focused on empowering women and girls. And yeah, I'm really excited to learn through the workshop, and I'll probably catch up on the YouTube ones soon because I love learning. I am huge on STEM, so I really like combining business and like the innovation side of things with STEM and research. So that's kind of why I'm here.
Very good. Thank you, Sunny. Alira, you were the first person on today with me. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you are from and a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Alira Makaisa. I'm a Filipino homeschooler living in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And I'm happy to be here. I will pass the ball to my brother, Sam. I'm Alex.
Yeah, go ahead, Alex, Sam.
Hello,
whichever
I'm
one you
Alex
go by.
Samuel. I am also from Jeddah and is a Filipino homeschooler here. Uh, and also I'm very excited to be here. I think this will be very useful for the event I'm in currently.
Both of them, in case the kids failed to say how creative and innovative they are, and they have their own little businesses going on and pet rescue program as well. So we'll have to ask more about that later. Zizu, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. Okay, so I'm Zizu. I'm 16 years old. I am located in the Philippines. And in my free time, I like to cook, and I'm also a part-time teacher and swim instructor. And those are my hobbies I like to do besides studying languages, which is what my innovation is founded on. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Latika. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Latika and I'm in 11th grade. So me and Samvi are in Irving, Texas, and we came up with Shade Seekers, which is to reduce the urban heat island effect. And so far, like in all the meetings, I learned so much that are like helpful for our organization, and I can't wait to learn more today.
Very good. Thank you. Sanjay.
Hi, my name is Sanjay. I'm in 7th grade and I'm in South Windsor, Connecticut. And I've and my invention is the tic-tac-toe. It helps mild cerebral palsy people walk normally. And thanks to this workshop, I've been able to plan some org to plan like an organization to help finance and like to help well to like sell my product.
Very nice. Very good. Did you know, Sanjay, that Bill will also help students outside of these workshops too? So keep that in mind. We can connect you if you need to. Alabelle, I don't want to miss you.
Hi, thank you. I'm Aliville Makaisa. I'm a Filipino homeschool mom based here in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and I'm the mom of Alira and Samuel. And me and my kids have learned about invention and innovation education from Jake and Julie. So we're very grateful for this opportunity to be here and excited to learn more.
They're some of our most important volunteers too, the three of them are. So thank you very much. And if I didn't say, my name is Julie Shively with Innovation World, and I'm very excited about marketing and branding. So Bill, take it away.
Okay, well, here we go. Did my screen show up? It is? It's there? Okay, thank you. So marketing and branding. So we always take a quick step back. Last week, we talked about developing your product and service. So we talked about the iterative process of starting from something small and inexpensive and low risk, and then working your way up as you learn more, so that building your product or your service gets actually less risky as you move forward instead of more risky. We talked about the customer's role in that is staying very close to the customer. We'll talk a lot more about that today. And prototyping, the minimum viable product sort of concept, and experimenting on behaviors, because ultimately behaviors are the thing that determines whether or not someone will consume your product or service or connect with it. You have to figure out if they'll actually do something. And then we talked a little bit about at the end about scaling your product. What's that next step, and the concept of crossing the chasm, which is the name of a book written, I don't know, about 25 years ago or more, that talked about how to get from your early adopter customer who's rapidly trying to solve their problem to your early majority customer who has the problem but isn't quite as willing to take a leap of faith on a new product as that early adopter customer. So we'll talk a little bit about more about that today. And here we are in our pirate map. We have at long last we've hit our destination here. We hit the X marks the spot. Hopefully there's some treasure at the end here for you. But we'll talk about that sort of sales and marketing and branding sort of stuff today. So this week's about developing your brand, your market. We'll talk about crossing the chasm again, transitioning from product focus, which is focused on those early adopter customers who want this thing to get them to this outcome, but transitioning from the product really to people, and what are people trying to do, and what different kinds of people are out there that might be in your market. We'll talk a little bit about customer acquisition versus customer growth, and we'll talk about continuous improvement. Just because you create a product or a service, it doesn't mean you've arrived and you can take a break and retire and that sort of thing. The product development process actually never stops. So talk a little bit about life cycle. So that last one here, This is a typical sort of product life cycle, and it starts when you introduce your product. Actually, it starts before you introduce your product, and the curve actually goes below the y-axis there. It goes negative as far as sales goes. You actually spend money at the beginning to learn, but then you dip above that line, and you start creating revenue, and you start making a little bit more money than you're putting in, and so on, and you grow. You get to maturity where your demand is at its highest, and then things typically start to fall off. So once you have that market fit with your early adopter, it's time to take your product to that next level, to that early majority, and cross the chasm into from developing product so specifically to developing how you message that product to people and show them that it's the right thing for them. The early adopter customer, you didn't have to convince them; you just had to show it to them. They could look at your product or your service and instantly they knew that's the thing I need to solve my problem. The early majority person, they're not sure. They'll need to they'll need to kick the tires on it a little bit. They'll need to kind of learn more before they're actually going to buy or participate or engage or whatever it is that you're looking for them to do. But I think an important thing though is that life cycle. You don't just produce something once and you let it go through the price cycle, the life cycle, and let it decline, and then you walk away and say, well, I guess entrepreneurialism was fun. Now I have to go get a real job and my life is over. It doesn't work that way. The great entrepreneurs, as their product is starting to mature, they're starting on the next thing in the background. They're quietly learning from their existing customer, from other people in the marketplace that could be customers. Hey, what's the next thing? What's the next problem we need to solve? Or how has this problem evolved for certain people that we could address in a new way? So as you see there, what I've taken is I've just taken that curve and I've just added more curves to it so that, hey, when things are great, that's the time when we got to think about when they're not going to be so great. That's the time to jump in and use some of those resources that maybe we've made from the first product to start on the next one, and then that buys us enough time while the other product is still doing well for us to learn, so that when that one is in decline, a new product is in growth, and we just keep on doing that. You do that until you're however old you want to be when you retire, and even then, a lot of people don't even quit at that point. They just love doing this. So branding. So branding is interesting. It's something I've been talking about for over 25 years. When I was much younger, I had the benefit of sitting in on a conversation that somebody was happening about personal branding. And it's something that really resonated with me because I hadn't really thought about it, but it's something that I knew would become very valuable to me. And so branding starts with yourself. Who are you? How do you want other people to perceive you? It's with my own children. Some of whom have been fairly recently were around your ages. I made it very clear to them as they were looking for a job in high school or as they were looking to go into college and to start building a career, they needed to be very clear to people around them who they are and what their brand was, what it was that you expected from them. Are they hardworking? Are they trustworthy? Are they smart? Or do they have good judgment? What are the traits that you want people to think about you first when they see you or think about you or hear your name? To do that, you have to go out and be those things first of all. But then you also need to to make sure you're doing things along the way that reinforce those things, and and asking people to potentially speak on your behalf, be a reference for you, that sort of thing. So branding starts with who are you, but also who is your product? And you say, how can a product be a who? Well, great products take on a life of their own. They have their own characteristics. They're a lot like people. So what are you? What is your product to your customer? What do they think of? And then how does this brand, this idea that people have about your product or your service, how does it become interwoven into their journey, that customer's journey, from the problem that they may have to the outcome that they're trying to get to, that better place? We think about we think about successful brands. Does anybody want to throw one out there? Think about a successful brand in the world. Zizu? Yeah.
Oreo.
Oreo?
Oreo.
The cookie?
Yeah, the cookie.
We're sort of a dessert heavy morning here, aren't we? Tell me about Oreo. Tell me tell me about its brand.
Okay, to me, Oreo is a quick snack, quick and sweet snack for sweet tooth like me, and it's easily accessible. You can eat it anywhere, anytime. It's convenient to eat.
You
Yep.
can eat it in different ways too.
Oh yeah, you can open it up. You can dip it in milk. Yeah, yeah, it is. It's fun. So it's fun. So in the jobs to be done context, which is something we talked about really early on, an Oreo solves the problem of I'm hungry and I need a snack, but it also does it in a fun way because there's a million ways you can have a snack. You can go eat a carrot if you want, but why do you pick an Oreo over a carrot? Well, you can't twist the top off a carrot and dip it in milk. A carrot doesn't necessarily make you smile, though. If you really like carrots, maybe it does. And I got nothing against carrots. So that's great. Anybody else wanted to talk about a brand that that has a powerful sort of identity with them or in the marketplace or anywhere they see it? Yeah, Zizo, go ahead. Got another one?
Sorry, I already know I went, but one that I'm interested about is Apple, like the phone company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Apple's on my list here. So Apple talks. The at least classically the logo or the motto at Apple was "Think Different." So I invite you to go online and do some research. There's the dog. Go out and do some research about marketing archetypes. Archetypes are like characters, and there's, depending on who you talk to, there's about a dozen of them, about 12 or so of them, and these are different characters. These are different personalities that products can have, and or that people can have. When you think about like characters in movies, you think about Yoda from Star Wars. He was something they called the sage. He was the wise man. And so that's one of the archetypes, but there's a whole bunch of it. There's the kind of like the clown or the Joker. There are certain brands that are like that. Hey, we're fun. You see a commercial for this brand, and it's comedy. It's they're all about making you laugh, and that's how they connect with you. They make their product connect with you in that way. And these archetypes are kind of deeply rooted in our brain because they've been the sort of people and ideas that we've had for thousands of years. So Apple. I'm trying to think off my head. I don't remember all the archetypes off the top of my head right now, but Apple is this sort of aspirational product. Hey, when I have an Apple, I can do more. It helps me be more, do more. I can have whatever I want. So Apple's a great one. On my list here, I've got Nike. Nike's another aspirational brand. Just do it. When you think of Nike, you might think of shoes, but Nike's done a good job of being a lot more than just athletic shoes. Everything they have is all about going out and just doing it, giving you what you need to achieve and to win. And then on the Google side, they're sort of they're the convenience sort of personality. Hey, we've got everything you need to be online. We got your browser, we got your apps, we got everything. So you don't need to go anywhere else. It's sort of a concierge. We talked about the concierge last week. It's sort of a concierge concept where it's all on a platter. You just pick whichever thing you want. We don't care. Just stay on our property. So really great brands help connect you and your mind to what they do for you. So it makes it really easy to consume those brands. Oreo, hey, when I want a sweet treat and I want to take care of my hunger, I'm going to go find an Oreo because I know what it's going to do for me. When I want a product that helps me be more than I can be, I might look for an Apple product. Or when I want to if I wanted to start running and become a competitive runner, I'm going to go to the Nike store and buy a pair of Nike shoes and a Nike shirt and Nike shorts, and I'm going to go out and all my Nike stuff, and I'm going to just do it. So that's what you want to be, whether it's a product or service or just yourself. What is that brand? What is it that you want people to think about? And then as a result of what they think about, how do you want them to act? So think in terms of outcomes, not solutions, though. That's really an important thing. And so we've been talking about that since week one. Solutions are fairly static. You build a thing and there it sits. It may or may not solve the customer's problem, or it might solve it now, but not tomorrow. So think in terms of outcomes. People want to achieve something. And your solutions could either be a bridge or a barrier to achieving that outcome. So you want your product to be a bridge, and you want them to see it as a bridge, and you want them to see it as the lowest sort of lowest effort thing that they need, that they could possibly do to get to the thing they want. You want them to be able to just use your product to cross that bridge to get to where they're going. If it's a barrier, then they have to make a decision to climb over the top of it to get to where they're going. And you don't want them to do that because they'll do something else that's easier. So be a bridge, and make that bridge dynamic. Stay close to your customer, watch their problem, watch what it is that they're trying to solve for, where they're trying to get, and keep your product current, keep it relevant. And then the cool thing is that becomes a part of your brand. Hey, this product started out as this, but it keeps evolving, and now it's this, and it's this, and it does all these things for me to get me where I want to go, which is a little bit like Google. Google's constantly evolving. Amazon is the same way. Amazon is constantly testing new customer experiences, but they don't do it for 1 million people. They do it for a couple of dozen people for 5 minutes on their website, and then they take it down and they analyze the results, and then they either continue it or they change or they do something else. Like last week, the iterative sort of design, they're doing that as well. So Amazon has a great reputation, especially amongst design people. Hey, go look at what Amazon is doing because they're doing it the right way. So on the marketing side, so branding is establishing who you are. Now, marketing is getting that message out to people and connecting it, helping people connect it to those outcomes. A lot of people think that just getting someone to buy or to engage with your product, whatever it is you're asking them to do, whether it's paying money or volunteering or doing something, hey, I've been successful. That's it. Now I've got it. But really, it isn't. The most successful companies are not companies that just get people satisfied. The most successful companies, the ones that keep going on for years and years and years, are the ones that get people past satisfied to passionate. They get people engaged with almost a religious fervor. And maybe let's think about that. So we talked about brands that had a great brand. Think about brands that have a lot of people that love them, and that people talk about their brand. Anybody think about a brand, a company, a product that people talk about with each other a lot? Oh, I loved doing this with that. Yeah, Zizo, go ahead. Not, or it can't be Oreos again.
Sorry?
It can't be Oreos again.
Oh no, I'm thinking maybe Shein, the clothing brand.
Okay. And what do people say?
Usually when I see reviews about Shein, most of them are talking about how the new releases can evolve into a new trend, or how it might complement someone's body type, or how it may emit a certain vibe off of a person based off the way they style it.
Interesting. And that's great. Yeah. So that means people will talk about, they'll buy the product and they'll talk about, yeah, I got this from Shein, and it look how it fits me. I can never find clothes that fit me. This one fits me great. And and I feel so trendy when I'm wearing it. And other people want to be like them. So who else has one? That's a great one. Yeah.
I noticed that nobody's talking about food brands, which kind of makes me sad. But...
Sam, I was gonna say talk about Jollibee.
Okay, then to me, talk about Jollibee.
What are they? I don't know that brand. You have to help me out there.
Jollibee is a very... Sam, can you mute?
You do? What?
So Jollibee is a very famous fried chicken fast food brand in the Philippines.
Okay.
And it always advertises itself always appealing to your emotions, because when you think of a Jollibee commercial, you think of a family.
Oh.
It always... Sorry. The commercials are always very emotional, and always about families reconnecting. So...
And what do people say?
You bond over good food.
Do people talk about if they go there for dinner, if they get takeout or something? Do they talk to other people about it, or what kind of conversation do you hear about it?
That it's
Alex,
really juicy chicken.
Okay. Alex,
yeah, the chicken's always very juicy. They literally call their chicken crispy-licious, juicy-licious.
I think they'd sell like maybe after going to the restaurant how it tasted,
Yeah.
especially because Jollibee has a lot of food chains around the world. It's actually a bit different chicken in Saudi than in Philippines. I have a few conversations how it's like in other countries too. In in the Philippines, that's where Jollibee is the best. It's always the crispiest. And this is how actually I learned how Jollibee got so many customers. They started in the Philippines. They were like, hey, what do we do? What do the Philippines like? And they know that we always like sweet stuff, like sweet spaghetti, sweet adobos, sweet food. So they made a brand, Jollibee. They started selling sweet spaghetti, sweets, what do you call this again? Ulaman and ice creams
Mhm.
and fried chicken because we love that. And they just started booming super hard.
Well, and food is a great thing. People do love to talk about. People like to eat, and they want to share with other people when they find something they love. So, I had a couple of them here, though. Brands where it's a lot of word of mouth. Tesla is one brand that I thought of because I thought to myself, have I ever seen an advertisement on TV or anywhere for Tesla? And I've never seen an advertisement. Yet everybody knows what a Tesla is. They know what they are, what they look like. They know what they are when they drive past one. So that's a great example of building a brand without doing any advertising at all. Pinterest is another one. I don't know if you're familiar with Pinterest. They're a social media platform. They came out maybe 10 or 15, that's probably 15 years or so ago. They did no advertising as well, but the only way you could get a Pinterest account was to know somebody who had one, if I remember correctly, or they had like a waiting list. And so people, it became this sort of scarce good. If any of you are like economics, the whole idea of scarcity can make people do really crazy things from a behavioral economic standpoint. So that was great. So I still don't think I've ever seen a Pinterest advertisement, but everybody had one. Facebook advertises now, but initially they did very little advertising. It was, people talked about, hey, people want to get on, hey, get on Facebook. I'm on there too. Look at my pictures. Oh, look at my pictures. And, and so they built these brands that by their very nature got people talking and connecting to each other. Instagram's the same way. Cutco knives, as far as a physical product, this is a knife company. These are knives for your kitchen. They go door to door and they sell you a couple $1,000s worth of very expensive knives. But people love them because they are good knives. They cut really well. But the guy comes back every 3 or 6 months and comes to your house and sharpens them for you. So people love that. The same sort of thing was with Zappos shoes before Amazon bought them. Zappos never advertised, and yet everybody knew where to get shoes online. Zappos, because if you didn't like them, they'd take them back no matter what. Even if the dog tore them up, you could put them in a box, send them back, and they'd take the shoes back and send you a new pair. And then locally, you probably have local brands. You may have, in my town, there are people that mow lawns or do snow plowing. They don't advertise, but you have to know somebody to get service from them because they're booked up all the time. Nobody can get work with them because everyone's talking about, say, oh yeah, you got to go to him or to her, and they'll take care of you really well. So you can build a brand like that even on a local level. For maybe if you're doing a nonprofit or if you're doing something in your community, you can still build a brand like Google or Tesla, but you can do it locally. Just because you do something that's really compelling and people love and that they want to talk about and that feels like it's a scarce resource. So everybody wants something that's scarce. So getting people to I know we're running out of time, but this has been really great. You all had some really great comments. Getting people to satisfied isn't good enough. You need to get them to passionate. Passionate is one step past satisfied. To do that, you have to test risky assumptions, just like you did when you're developing your product. You have to you have to now ask questions about, what is my customer willing to do to promote me? Can I do something for my customer that will get them to promote me? So if I give my customer a Google form, will they fill it out to give me a 5-star review on Google? That's how you know you have a passionate customer. If they take time to fill out a 5-star review, there you go. And it's something I actually do on one of my websites for one of my side hustles. Is I pick out the people that I know like my service, and I make sure that only they get the Google form. And so I've got 115 5-star reviews and only one 4-star review. I can't believe the person did a 4-star. They blew it. I had exactly 100 5-star reviews, and then some jerk gave me a 4-star review, and it broke my streak at 100 at exactly 100. But they're probably one of those people though that never gives out 5 stars like my wife. She doesn't. Nobody's 5 stars unless they're perfect. Nobody's perfect. So, well, give them a break. Anyway, so those are the types of things you could do where you can test your customer to see if they are passionate. Hey, would you be willing to refer me to your friends? Would you be willing to put something on your Facebook page, on your Instagram page? Would you be willing to do this? Would you be willing to, hand my business card out to some people? I know some of these are sort of old ways of marketing, but you need to test to see if your customer is willing to do that, because you need to test to see if they're passionate. Will they put themselves on the line for you because they want to do their friends, their neighbors, the benefit of working with you as well. And so that's where you need to get, and that's what you need to work on. So in your business model canvas that we talked about a few weeks ago, you need to have some language in there about how you're going to get people not just to satisfied, but beyond satisfied to passionate, and reduce your dependence on spending time, money, whatever it is on marketing, because buying customers is expensive and isn't sustainable. Because at some point you'll have reached everyone that you can reach, and no one's going to want it anymore. So until you get people to passionate and you have them out there advertising for you, because when I tell a friend to work with somebody, it's a lot more than that. That's somebody telling my friend to work with them, because I have credibility. Hey, I'm not going to lie to them. I'm not going to steer them wrong. Whereas people think commercials, advertising, marketing is usually kind of a pack of lies to a lot of people. So how do we get past marketing to referral, to that word of mouth? So we talked about those behavioral experiments. Same thing. If I do X, customer will refer me in way Y for reason Z. And that reason Z is whatever it is I believe makes them passionate, because they are, because I got them to their outcome better than they thought they would, because I provided it at a price that was competitive, because I gave them the best service possible, whatever that is. So use that same sort of hypothesis formula we used a few weeks ago to test now behaviors around getting them passionate. Finally, yeah.
I wanted to mention Sunny had her hand up a little bit ago, but I'm not sure if we can. Oh, I know you can't see everything when your screen's up. No worries.
Sorry, I was on a caffeine fueled sermon. Sorry, go ahead, Sunny.
That's okay. I just wanted to bring up another. These institutions aren't like fully profit driven, but I think they also rely a lot on word of mouth.
Absolutely.
And maybe it's because I've been swamped in university applications recently, but universities, they still have to sell their programs and get as many people as they can to apply to them and come to their school. And like, yes, they have ads, but I think everybody decides on what program is considered good and not good based on what they hear from their friends, from their community, from their schools, from the alumni. Like even me, I form my opinions based on what I've heard from other people. It's never based on what the university advertises. So that's another thing that I think relies a lot on word of mouth.
Absolutely. And so understanding those models, if you're, for your nonprofit that you're doing, it's the same thing as how do I get people talking about every aspect of my value proposition? And so that there's this ongoing conversation in the community that's absolutely centered around my brand. So it goes for nonprofits and charitable organizations. It goes for products and services. It goes for everything, because everything is a product. A university education is a product, just like a car or a boat or a house or anything else, because it has to get you to an outcome. And so the thing I talk to people about is, especially when you're thinking about enrolling at a university, what are you hiring this university to do for you? And then work backwards from that and say, hey, is this the university for me? Will it get me there, and how do I know? So it's a great way to think backwards through. It's like, why am I going to college? Where do I want to be at the end? And will this one get me there? Same thing with any other product. What am I hiring this product to do? What am I hiring this service to do? How do I believe it's going to get me there? And how certain am I of that? Because that moment of indecision is the moment that the customer says, you know what, I'm not going to risk it. Especially that early adopter or the early majority customer, who really wants to see those Google reviews, who really wants to hear other people talking about the university, for instance. If a school reached out to you, Sonny, and said, "Hey, come, full scholarship, come to our school." If you had never heard of the university, what would your response be?
I would probably not.
Yeah, who the heck are you, and why are you bothering me? Come back when you have a reputation.
It's kind of like a cockroach crawling into your house. Who are you, and why are you? Who are you, and what's your reputation?
Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, a really big cockroach. I used to live in Alabama, and they had really big ones there. So stay connected to your customer. I'll wrap this up because some of you may have a place to be or a person to go to. Continuous improvement and evolution, that series of curves. It's not just one curve and you say, "Oh shucks, my product or service isn't popular anymore. I guess I'm going to go retire, or go get a job at McDonald's." No, it's a constant process. You're constantly either reinventing your existing products or inventing new ones based on new things that you're seeing in the marketplace, and it's a constant process. And it's exhausting, but it's also exhilarating. It fills you up, and it gives you purpose. So understand how to get those testimonials. Spend a lot of your time on that piece. How do I get people talking about me and my product in a way that drives us forward, that grows the market? That is the engine of growth. The engine of growth is through that word of mouth. It is through the passionate customer. Because that's how it happens. You don't grow through marketing. You just sort of stay even in marketing. You replace customers that you lose, and that only lasts until you run out of customers. And that could be slow or it could be fast, depending on the scale you're at. And as we talked about, word of mouth is key to all that. So that is my little spiel on.
Hey, Bill,
marketing.
I just wanted to say, Philip came in when you were in the middle of your
Yeah.
presentation, so I didn't want to stop, but I'd like to give Philip a chance to introduce himself.
Yeah, Philip, tell us about you.
Well, I'm from the Philippines and I'm grade 6, 12 years old.
And what are you passionate about?
Uh, well, I like cooking.
Okay, we
That's
got a lot of
why
that.
I got excited when you talked about knives.
Okay, I'll take that one too. All right, sure.
So Philip, you'll have to talk to Alira. I know you guys know each other because I'm trying to talk her into doing the first gift gourmet cooking segment. So, we have gift twice a year.
That's a
She can do
thing?
a half hour cultural cooking. Look at him lighting up. Cultural cooking show. So talk her into it. Maybe you could be her sous chef. Or she could be your sous chef, whichever. And then we want to pass it to another country and let them come on and share a half hour's worth of cooking and culture with us. Think about it. April 12th, 13th, the next gift.
Yeah, I'm very interested.
Any thoughts or reactions or questions based on the very quick 30 minutes we just did?
Before we
disappear, sorry, Jake, go ahead.
Before we disappear, I want to take a screenshot.
Okay.
Zizi, you can go ahead and talk while he's doing that.
Okay. I know I talk about Oreos a lot, but I have a question. I'm very interested in this. How come the only variants of Oreos I see here in the Philippines are the double stuffed ones and the normal ones? So how come their market is like very steady and they still get like a lot of people buying their product, even if it doesn't change that much?
Some
I actually see a
products
lot of different flavored ones. Or sorry to interrupt. Like in Canada, at least, they have like the golden Oreos. Like I feel like every time I go to the grocery store, I see different flavors. But that might just be Canada. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. They
had a
have, and then
Halloween.
they always do like weird ones like birthday cake and
they had
probably
Halloween
red
Oreo.
velvet, all sorts of weird ones that come and go really fast to test out here too.
Yeah, but Zizo, the answer to your question is, they're always testing new variations. Sometimes the variations don't do well. They're not culturally significant. They just don't fit in for whatever reason. And some brands are just iconic. They are, transgenerational. Your parents and your grandparents ate them, and it gets passed down. I want my children to enjoy Oreos too, just like I did, and they're going to do that with their children. So until something terrible happens and destroys the brand, maybe it turns out the the food color in it is toxic or something, that these brands stay forever because they become something that, and this is actually a part of product design. When you go to deep metaphors that people hold on to, that family and belonging and togetherness, brands like Coca-Cola and Oreo, are things that the people think back. Hey, I've always known this brand. It's always been a part of our lives, and it becomes comforting that way. It's as many things change in the world, this doesn't, and that's comforting to people. So great question. Now, whether or not your product or service will get there will take generations to find out. But becoming something that solves immediate problems is the first step, and then building that passionate customer who not only shares it with their friends, but also they share it down through the generations. Sort of that next step. Other thoughts, comments, epiphanies you had as we were talking today?
I've seen this kind of thing that businesses do. They'd have like a fake leak, if you know what those are. Like it kind of like someone hacks, let's say, a website and then leaks some new information.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think businesses would purposely make fake leaks, like, hey, they're making this new shirt. Hey, they're making this new game, and they'll see how the world reacts to it, and judging by the information, they'll see if they can pursue it or not.
Coca-Cola pulled that off in the 1980s. They said we're going to have new Coke, new flavor. It's new formulation, and people lost their minds in a very negative way. And within months, the old Coke was back. But guess what? New Coke was still also on the shelf, and is to this day.
Is it diet?
Yeah. What's that?
Is it the Diet Coke?
No, it was Coke, but they changed the recipe a little bit, and people hated it. So they brought back the old Coke, but it was this big deal that didn't cost them a dime. All this press, and so they basically said to the markets, "Okay, we'll bring back this thing you love." It was comical, really, when you look back at it, because they really got away with a fast one there. But it got it was in all the media outlets talked about Coke. Coke's changing. Oh no, people, how am I going to get Coke now? I like the old Coke. I don't like the new one. It was just great for Coke. And some of the companies do it sometimes. They say, hey, we're going to be discontinuing this. And then people say, well, don't do it. And then they bring it back. Star Trek back in 1967, and at the end of their first or second season was going to get canceled. And everyone wrote letters. Bring back Star Trek. Don't cancel Star Trek. So they brought back Star Trek. I mean, these are things that companies can do when they see those lessons of the past. Hey, let's threaten to take something away to see exactly how much people value it. Interesting tactic in marketing. You got to do it just right, though. Otherwise, you get busted, and they realize that you're just pulling a fast one.
Zizu, jump in there.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that reminded me of I think it was 2 days ago. My brother and I were watching some short videos on YouTube, and I saw this one. It was talking about, I think it was in the 80s or 90s, Burger King had this like fake advertisement for April Fools that they would be making what they called a lefty burger. So they'd make like the normal burger, then rotate it 180 degrees so that those who use their left hand can eat it. And they didn't think that that people would actually believe it, but a bunch of customers came into their stores that day, and they were asking for the lefty burger. And then besides that, people were asking for a righty burger. So I think that in a way, instead of making the customers come in through scarcity, they were actually coming in through abundance. And I think it was maybe might have been an accidental advertisement move.
A burger chain near me several years ago had the same thing. This is sort of the April Fool's joke marketing thing. And they said, we're going to have a new burger, and it's going to have a giant fried cheese curd on top of it. But they didn't have it. But people came to the store and were asking for it. When is this coming? When is this coming? As a result, a year later, when they got their act together and could produce it, they had the burger, but just for a couple of weeks. But it sold out like in 2 days. So a year later, they brought it back for a couple of months, and they were able to tell what the demand was going to be, though, so they could actually very safely produce it, so there wouldn't be any waste. But this sort of April Fool's joke, or kind of being fun, is a great way to get people's reactions, because a lot of people don't get the joke. They don't realize it's a joke. So seeing that reaction, you get an emotion out of people. And remember, emotions is how you market. Emotions is how you drive value. People buy things because they do something emotionally for them, not logically. So anything you can do to drive emotions helps you learn about your product and how your customer sees it as a way to get them from where they are to where they want to get across that bridge or through that barrier. I got to get going here pretty quick. Is there anybody else have a last thought? Or
Bill, I just want to say thank you for all 6 of these workshops. They've been fantastic. And if you missed any of them, go back and watch the recordings. They're in every one of the emails I sent out to you guys. So congratulations, Bill, for making it all the way through the end with us and all of our questions. And thank you to all of the students who've come here each time to participate. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to doing more of these with Bill in the future.
Thank you all. Don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to help you out however I can. Thanks for coming. Thanks for great ideas today too. It was a really good session. See you soon.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
I
you.
hope you have another.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.